Good afternoon, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey guys, today we are going to talk about the Ampex Vp-4900C. Alright guys, you know I've been troubleshooting the hell out of this machine. Well, we did solve the problems with the bad capacitors. We did solve the problem with the voltage problems, which was some of the filter caps were bad on this unit. So we did fix the filter capacitors. We got the voltages back. I did change out the rectifiers on this. One of the rectifiers was open. It completely shorted out on one side. So one of the rectifiers was bad. We changed all those out with new ones. I did redo all that. So we powered it up. The power comes back up. All the voltages are correct to all the points, including the upper part of the drum, which is located right here. This is your playback board right here. Now, if you notice, this is the playback board. If you notice, it's only got a few things on this side. It has nothing to the left. That means this board was interchangeable. When they made this unit, they made it available to either record or play back. I have never seen a 4900C or a model after that records, but they made it where they could add the recording part with the playback part and still have the same board without manufacturing another board. But anyways, this is the playback side. I was checking everything on this and seems to be okay. So anyways, we got the capacitors changed, the rectifiers fixed, we got the voltages back up, and still no video. We checked the continuity on the video head, and continuity tells you that the copper winding on the video head is good. And you get what's called continuity. If you don't have that on a video head, the video head is shorted out. This video head is good continuity. It's got very little wear and tear on it, so it's not the video head. All right, now I'm about to show you something I discovered today, which is always a big pain in the ass with these machines. A lot of video head scanners, okay, 3/4-O-matic, various other ones, use this method. It's basically two parts. It's a transformer, actually two transformers that spin on top of each other and create a field. So it creates a field from the video head signal to the first transformer, which transfers that signal over to this transformer up on top that connects to the wires to the playback board, and then you got your signal, and that goes to everything else in the video machine. This is called a video head transformer for playback, and of course they use this system a lot on the 3/4-O-matic, Betacam SP, Betamax. A lot of VCRs and broadcast video equipment still used this system. But then they changed the design a little bit where it had a brush on top and still had a transformer on the bottom. But this is where they actually use two transformers to create the signal coming from the video head, which is an earlier version, okay, to make contact with the playboard to the electronics to play the video output. All right, this thing still has no video. And now, today, we figured out why. This thing will not play video because this lower transformer, the coil, is shorted out. And the reason I know this is by testing it. I normally don't ever check these. I'll just check the video head, but today I was diving into the upper top of this, and I figured I'll take the head off and the transformer off and just do some troubleshooting and see if there's any issues. Yeah, we found an issue. So let me show you real quick how you do this. You would put your meter in what's called the continuity testing area, which is like a little loud speaker looking type of thing. It's for continuity, okay? You'll get a tone like that. That means you got direct contact going from one point to another point. And when you're dealing with coils on video heads, you got to have continuity, including the transformers, okay? Now here's the upper transformer. All right. So as you can see, we touched the 2 points of the transformer. We got continuity. So the upper coil, which is the lower coil of this transformer, is good. We got continuity on this thing, which is the upper part where the wires connect to the playback board, okay? We got continuity. This part is good. So when I check the lower transformer, which is this one. I checked the 2 wires from point to point. Absolutely dead as a doornail. This is not creating the electrical current or the magnetic field from the video head to this transformer, so it could pass it on to the secondary transformer up on top to send the signal out to the playback board. This is the issue with this machine. The lower transformer is shot. The coil is completely shot. So what we're going to do, I've done this before, and this is what we're going to do. In most cases, you would be really screwed trying to figure out, all right, now what do? I do not have one of these that's good, unfortunately. All right, now if you look, it's a little copper piece that got pressed in with the copper wire wound below it. And they got a little copper piece that's pressed in to hold the wire down. And then they got the 2 wires from point to point to connect to this little connection board, okay? So what I gotta do is I gotta get this copper clad spacer out. Then I gotta pull all the bad wire out. And of course you're sitting thinking, how are you gonna rebuild one of those? Well, I got this stuff a while ago. This stuff is extremely fine copper wire. This is the stuff you wrap video heads with, okay? When you make video heads, this is the gauge that they use. It's so fine that it's not even funny. It's like a hair. It's the thickness of a hair. It's extremely fine. Well, it's the exact match wire for this one, which is the same gauge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to rebuild it. I'm going to have to get this apart. I'm going to have to first try to figure out what the ohms is. I think it's probably 2 ohms in winding. And I need a wind copper wire around something so I can get that exact ohms. And I need to stuff it. And then I'm going to have to glue it back with the copper spacer back where it belongs and press it back in place. Not going to be an easy thing to do. But since I cannot get this part, I'm going to have to rebuild and make one. This is going to be very interesting. But today we discovered why this video deck does not play video. It's because the lower transformer is shorted out. The upper one is good. And the video head itself, the coil on the video head is good. I would normally not actually check one of these because, these really necessarily wouldn't go bad. But this lower transformer is bad. The copper winding coil is shorted out. So that means I have to come up with a solution to rebuild this one. Because you got to have the magnetic field from the lower to go to the upper so it can pass the information on to the board, to the rest of the boards in the machine. Or you're going to get no video signal at all. So just thought I'd pass this little information on to everybody. Making some really big leaps and bounds on this machine. This machine is in really, really good shape. It's just that this thing had some problems. Now I can see why they took the upper top off. I can see, and plus I see a little skid mark drag point on the board. I think what happened was this thing was spinning and it got locked up or something and it shorted out the coil. And you could tell because there's a mark on the board where the upper part of the connector slammed into the board. So I think what happened is when this coil was spinning in high velocity, it got dried up or something, and it created a drag or something that shorted out the lower transformer, which shows you it did lock up against the board, which obviously shows you what happened. So that's how you figure out a problem with a video machine. This was a failure on the drum at some point. So now we're going to have to figure out how to rebuild the lower transformer, and I think we're going to have this thing done. So I truly think we're going to have video after we have a current that's possible through this transformer. So I hope you enjoyed this video.